Hi guys and welcome to this week's video tutorial. Today we will be discussing the third variation of the 5-9 cannons versus the edge cannon for Chariot exchange variation. So without further ado, let us begin. Central cannon, screen horse defense, 7th pawn rank chariot, and the edge cannon for Chariot exchange variation. Red go again, refuses to treat chariots, black retreats the cannon, the red develops his left horse as a proper horse, black goes for prophylactic move with a4 plus 5, again red goes for the 5-9 cannons, black moves his chariot and the red does so likewise, both develop their chariots as foul chariots, black attacks. And as mentioned earlier, h7 plus 8 will be one of the best counters that black can offer against red's chariot or red's central cannon in this situation, because black would now be prepared to play p7 plus 1 to dislodge the red chariot. Now in this board, red will play c5 plus 4 to capture the central pawn immediately. Now one of the main ideas would be that after making this move, the cannon will be protecting the red horse, and red could always move his elephant as need be in preparation for black's attack on his flank. So usually black would capture, and after trading material, this would be the position of discussion for this board. There are two main variations. The first of which would be p7 plus 1, whereby black continues his attack on his flank, and the other will be c7 plus 5. So let us go to p7 plus 1, the first variation. Now, after p7 plus 1, red would capture the pawn because the cannon will now be protecting the horse. And black could choose to sacrifice his horse in this manner, hoping that by sacrificing his horse, he'll be able to capture the elephant and go for attack on his flank. So this would lead to the situation which become very tense immediately. Check. And at this point in time, it is very critical for black to play c2 plus 7. He should not play c7 plus 9 because red would now choose to play ra plus 4 to develop his chariot, give his chariot some space to maneuver. At this point in time, red will only need to counter-sacrifice his horse. So for example, check. Red will usually make this move, counter-sacrifice the horse, but red will gain much better positioning, and red will now seal off any potential attacks by black. The black chariot and cannon will be pinned, and this will be a major issue for black, because now the possibility of a discovered attack to checkmate would not be possible, and red would have the advantage. Now if ra-2 would not play and black tried to consolidate his defenses, red will immediately try to gain material, because now the cannon will not be able to traverse to this flank for attack. Let's say black counter-sacrificed more material, and after red will attack in this manner, and as can be seen, red would have two more horses available. This material advantage is very strong, and both colors will be attacking one flank. Now there will be many chances for tactical combinations involving tactical attacks, but red will be usually faster. Now for beginners, let us see what was meant by red being faster. Now if black tried to go for the checkmate with this move, threatening to kill, red would attack immediately with a check. Now the central chariot was commanding the central file, so if black moved the elephant, this would be an immediate checkmate. So if black can only make this move, red would deliver a check. Again, the elephant cannot retreat, so black can only move the advisor. Now if he moved the king, it would be an immediate checkmate. So black can only move the advisor, but red will deliver a discovered check and capture the chariot to have a winning position. So that is why red's attack on this flank cannot be neglected. So back to variation A. Okay, c2 plus 6 will be a correct move. Red immediately plays c9 plus 4 to protect his chariot, preparing to offer his chariot for a trade of material at any time possible to relieve some pressure. Of course, black would now attack in this manner. If he plays c7 plus 9, red will immediately offer a trade of chariots as mentioned earlier. So after r8 plus 9, black would capture the advisor. Check. Again capturing the advisor, but at this point in time, red would retreat his horse for a fork. Now, the correct move for black at this point will be to accept the trade of chariots, because if he did not, if he tried to play c2 equals 7, hoping to play c4 minus c6 minus 1 for the checkmate, red will simply move his king to safety. And after trading material, black's 3 pieces over here are getting in the way of each other, and it will be very difficult for black to organize any kill for the time being. Besides, red would be more than happy to trade chariots, and he would have the 3-pawn advantage going into the endgame. So red will enjoy both the material and overall advantage should c2 equals to 7 were played. So after trading material, red will play k5 plus 1 to slow down black's attack, and at this point in time, this is a rather even situation. Red's defenses have crumbled, but he will have 3 extra pawns, and red's piece-gun combination would be better. Red would have comparatively speaking, red would have the easier time ahead. Now let us go to variation B. c7 plus 5, whereby black attacks immediately, capturing the pawn for material advantage, threatening to capture the elephant. Now, the more newer way would be to retreat the horse to the centroid. e3 plus 5, which would be the seemingly natural way in the past, would not be as ideal, because black, after playing e3 plus 5, black would charge the pawn across the river, preparing to play h8 plus 6, threatening the chariot. Now, before I continue, p7 plus 1, if black captured the pawn, for example, black will go ahead, and after trading material, black will now attack the cannon, and he could make much trouble on this flank. So p7 plus 1, h8 plus 6, c2 plus 6, h6 plus 7, r9 equals to 6, and r2 plus 2. Black's formation will now be very desirable. At this point in time, the elephant cannot capture the pawn, otherwise black will capture the horse. So black would have a very ideal formation at this point. So e3 plus 5, or the old method of making this move, will not be ideal. And faced with this move, usually black will continue with c2 plus 5 to pin the two horses. By this, I mean that, let's say if this horse moved, black would immediately deliver a discover check and capture the chariot. So that is why this is considered a very powerful pin. So 2 black pieces would have pinned 4 red pieces over here. So this is one of the newer or popular methods that was used in the 1990s. In the past, c2 plus 6 was played. However, red would now capture the pawn, threatening to retreat and deal with the issue of this pawn or black's attack over this flank. p7 plus 1, retreat, protect, counter capture, p7 equals to 9 to threaten the chariot, because the black chariot will now be protecting the pawn. Plus 2, black develops his horse to this intersection, and black will now retreat his material, and both colors will be pestering each other. Both will have their scruples, and both will have their advantages and disadvantages. c2 plus 5, recommended. e7 plus 5, prophylactic move to prevent c2 equals to 5 from happening, so red can move his horse. And black will continue with p7 plus 1. Now, another possibility would be to play r8 plus 2. Now, this is also viable. Red will retreat his horse, link the cannons up for black, attack, preparing to treat material, p7 plus 1, capture, move, and attack this flank with this combination, forcing the elephant back, threatening the cannon, which has no place to go except to retreat, or be protected by the chariot as in this situation. But after all, both colors will be pestering each other. Black will be forming a blockade, and red's pieces are slightly behind in terms of development. Each color would have the advantages, and black would not be too bad off. Sorry. p7 plus 1, e5 plus 3. Again, red focuses his attack on this flank, especially in view of the centroid horse. Now at this point, red cannot be negligent and play, let's say, e3 minus 5, no matter how enticing it would be, because the threat of a pale corner horse checkmate is evident, and if red tried to protect in this manner, black would advance the chariot and still be prepared to go for the pale corner horse checkmate, threatening to force red to use his chariot to capture the black horse and thus gain a significant material advantage very early on. Red would have his hands full and black would have an easy time ahead. So e3 minus 1 would prevent r9 plus 8 from happening. And both colors, black will retreat, threaten, move the chariot, preparing to go for the elbow horse, defending, and black maneuvers the horse to attack. This horse is a huge threat. Black will now command the initiative. So that is why, because of variation B, c7 plus 5 over here, red c5 plus 4 would wane in popularity a little bit in major tournaments back in the 1990s and 2000s. So I hope let us view this game from the eyes of black. Okay, let's go back a little bit. Central cannon, screen horse, 7th pawn, pawn rank chariot, edge cannon for chariot exchange, prophylactic move, red develops the left horse as a fouled horse, 5-9 cannons, attacks the chariot, and black goes for the external rip horse to attack. In this board, red attacks with c5 plus 4 to deliver a check. Now this is not so good as mentioned earlier. h3 plus 5 after trading, position of discussion, variation A, p7 plus 1, variation B, c7 plus 5. Now in p7 plus 1, black attacks, preparing to sacrifice his horse in this manner, hoping to be able to formulate an attack on the flank. h3 plus 4, check, and black plays c2 plus 6 because r7 plus 9 would not be a good idea. If c7 equals to 9, black moves, and after several exchanges, red's material will be applying a pin on this cannon and chariot, and black's lone cannon and chariot over here will not be able to do much. c9 plus 4, preparing to trade chariots, forcing black to play. c8 plus 9, r8 plus 9, sorry. c9 plus 7, no use because trade of material and black's attack will be halted. The e7 plus 5, check, and after some complicated maneuvering, red forces a trade of material which black must accept. If c2 equals to 7, red would have an easier time ahead with the material advantage and pawn advantage. 3 minus 2, and red's material will be well developed. Red would have an easier time ahead. Variation B, h3 minus 5 will be the newer method as compared to e3 plus 5 in the end, which would give black a very versatile formation. c2 plus 5, a very new way of novel way of pinning. If c2 plus c2 plus 6 in the past, black would have a nice position. e7 plus 5, p7 plus 5. If r8 plus 2, again, black would be able to link his material up for a powerful defense. e3 plus 5, e3 plus 9. E3 minus 1 is the correct way to defend. Otherwise, black would be faced. Red would be faced with the threat of a pale corner horse checkmate, and red would be forced to swallow the horse by force, and black would get a material advantage. e3 minus 1. Black adjusts the route of development of his left horse for attack, and black would have a very versatile formation going on. His defense is okay, and this would be a very complicated situation. So I hope you've enjoyed this short video. If you like the work that I've been doing, please do subscribe to my channel and give me a thumbs up. Thank you.